Boys, welcome back to another episode of Ask Diaphone, where we answer your questions in the Discord. Again, if you want to join the Discord, you can join it in the link in the description below. And yeah, let's see. We have a bunch of questions. Let's see who can help me farm some content. Podcast, should I stick with Akuma if I want to learn this game? I got 170 hours in the game. I'm currently stuck with Akuma at Plat 4. I feel like 100 hours, almost diamond, is like pretty good pace. So I don't think you should feel bad about that. I feel like just on average, it's like 400 hours to get the master, like 200 to get the diamond. It's just general based on vibes. I don't think that's like actually that accurate, but that's the impression I get. He has so many tools. He does have a lot of tools. I think a lot of tools are okay, just as long as you like narrow down like what the good tools are, and you only use the very specific tools that you need to win, right? Because like obviously not all tools are made equal. When I first get Street Fighter 6 on release, Silver to Plat 3 on JP. Yeah, JP I feel like is a lot easier to kill scrubs with than Akuma. Funny enough, I do think Akuma is very strong, but I feel like he does require a little bit more skill to use at a low level than JP, where you can just like keep zoning people out. So summing up, is it better to play a simpler character or a character with more of a game plan to learn the character better? So it's like, this is like the question that is time immemorial, right? Like who should I play, right? And I think what I've always said in all my videos is just play who you want. And I think that holds true. I think that's very easy advice to give, but a lot of people are trying to min-max their results, right? A lot of people are trying to, how do I say, like get better or like do better over time and like be more efficient than someone else, right? So like I want to sink 200 hours in, I want to hit master as opposed to like hitting 200 hours and only hitting Plat 4, right? Which I think is fair. I think that's fair. I still think that playing who you want is obviously like the better choice, only because in the long run it's gonna pay off, right? Like especially with our current patch culture where some characters get a lot stronger. You wake up one day and Beatrix got nerfed, right? And so it's like, damn, I was diamond, now I'm plat because my character just took the biggest nerf known to man, right? So like there's so many variables that you just can't account for that I think it's just better to, I honestly think it's just better to like stick who you want, right? But if I were to say like certain characters are better to learn than others, it's probably like characters that, how do I say, I don't know. I do think playing strong characters is actually worthwhile, right? Because a strong character can help you go in, like get more tournament experience. It can help you climb higher ranks, and the faster you climb a rank, or the faster the further you get in tournament, the better players are going to play. And the better players that are your competition, the more you can absorb from them, the more you can learn, right? So I think there is that kind of benefit, but at the same time, I feel like as long as you just don't develop bad habits playing bad players, like I don't think it really matters too much, right? And honestly, like tier lists are designed for like the upper echelon of players, not for like who's the scrubbiest. Because obviously, like if it was a diamond 4 or like a plat 4 tier list, Honda would be number 1, right? And like what's the easiest way to ascend the ranks? It's just play Honda and spam butt slam and headbutt. Is that really the thing to do? Probably not, right? That's probably not optimal in the long run to learn. So like I said, there's so many variables. I think playing who you like is just better. It's more efficient. So I think stick with that. And instead of trying to like min-max who, your character choice. And I think Akuma is perfectly okay to learn the game with. Yeah, because he's not gonna really like, you're not gonna develop, you might have like a crutch like air fireball or demon flip, but it's not like you're still gonna have to learn the game in order to get good. So not an issue. All right, Noel says you ball. Of course. Yeah, I mean that's the easy question. What can I say? I ball. All right, Masters, help. I answered this. But I basically said, I said this advice in other videos, but the best way for people that are stuck and they feel like they keep dropping MR every time they play is drop your MR on purpose. And don't play ranked as much, right? Drop your MR, figure out where you're truly at, and then don't play ranked. There's a bunch of other ways to learn, casual match, tournaments, battle hub, learning new characters, etc. and you can make a lot of progress that way. And then you can go back to rank when you have that, you've trained up, and then you can see how you do. Hey, Ragnite, balance of fighting games. Hey, Diaphone, how important do you think balance is when making a fighting game good? My first game that I played competitively, Super Smash Bros. Melee, where half the cast is not really viable in tournament. Coming to Grand Blue, that's been tricky since everyone. I don't think the game actually needs to be balanced. This is kind of a hot take. You're right. MVC2, Third Strike, Super Turbo, Melee, all these games have fucking shit balance, and they're great games, right? I think it's like, a game is better if it's balanced, but it's not the be all end all, right? As long as the game's fun, as long as the game doesn't have like one character that like makes all the other characters obsolete. I do think your game can have balance problems. Like for example, like I don't know, if in Third Strike they fucking buff Chun, and you either have the option of playing Chun or just losing, right? Kind of like DNF Duel and Swiftmaster when they first launch. Then yeah, I think balance becomes a lot more of an issue. But even in all those games, like those games have very thriving scenes. I think part of it is just games weren't balanced back in the day, and so the bar was held lower, right? But even nowadays, like you could argue Street Fighter 6 isn't balanced. You could argue Grand Blue's not balanced, but they weren't as balanced as the old game. So to me, it's like I don't think it actually matters as for the game's success. Obviously, you want the game to be as balanced as possible. And it's just like anything else, right? Like the more features that a fighting game adds, does a fighting game need a story mode? No, right? But having a story mode helps attract additional people to the game, and then helps the game grow, right? Same thing with balance. Or does it get? Or players need to get good and learn their matchups? Yeah, I mean, people are always going to complain, right? Isn't Leffen notorious for like complaining that Fox had bad matchups, even though Fox is the best character in game? People are always going to complain. Doesn't matter the game. People complain the old imbalanced games. Game could be almost perfectly balanced. People are still going to complain about the game. And if they're not complaining about the characters, they'll complain about shit like perfect parry and system mechanics that every character has access to. So I think balancing something is kind of like a fool's errand, but you should make an attempt at it. But you're never gonna get it right. All right, trying to have a better mindset. Hey, Diaphone, new to fighting games, and I've been playing Grand Blue for the past week. I kind of stuck at A rank, but I'm not really motivated at getting better, even though I want to do. It's just I don't have the drive. Okay. No one's forcing you to play fighting games, right? No one's forcing you to do anything. Also trying to get into Guilty Gear, but I'm scared, nervous, because you'll be completely new. I like to get both games. I feel like being easily frustrated and starting from the bottom, fears holding me back. I think you already know what you want, right? Like I'm reading this and it's very clear that you already know what you want to do, which is you want to try a different fighting game. You want to play Guilty Gear. So to me, it's like forehead brain, like just do it, right? Obviously that's easier said than done, but I mean, you don't have to like go online and play ranked, right? I was watching Aisha stream. Aisha is the person that sings the May theme, Disaster of Passion. And they didn't just hop online and get fucking cooked, right? They played the story mode. Then they did training mode. And now they're doing the trials. And they've been streaming this game for 3 weeks and they haven't actually played anyone, right? So like, to me, it's kind of obvious that, there's a bunch of other ways to start than like from the bottom. Like, as long as you're having fun, and that's really the most important thing, because like these, fighting games are supposed to be fun, right? And I think that will help your motivation, is like understanding what you like and what you don't like and going from there. All right, Plaka again. Wondering when you should use lights. Mostly using 5 HP on characters I play. I think you said you play Akuma, so I'll stick with that. I'll cancel them into state specials, and when they start to counterplay, I'll just adjust. I think a lot of people get stuck on like, I think especially a lot of beginner players, they'll want to throw out the big heavy buttons, because big heavy button does a lot of damage and it's good and it reaches far and I don't know, big combos, big numbers, woo. But mediums and lights have a lot of range. Like generally you're not using lights in neutral. In Street Fighter 6, lights are mainly up close because you need something quick to like bait a drive reversal or to bait a slow reversal, or because you want to like test their reactions and go for like tick throws and shit. or you need a punish. It's basically something that you need something quick, right? Can also be on defense, so they're usually your best buttons to mash. Other than that, you're not really using lights, right? Maybe like check stuff like drive rush, but they're very like context specific. Now, mediums are a little different, right? And I think a lot of people get, because like you don't really use lights in neutral unless you're a character like Ken, you have a cracked like far 5L or something, right? And to me, it's like if they're trying to play the whiff punish game, lights are really good, right? If they're looking for you to whiff, it doesn't matter if you whiff a light, right? But you also get a lot less reward. So it's and mediums are like kind of in between, right? It's kind of like Goldilocks, where the mediums are, how do I say, like they're not as whiff punishable, but you can still use them, and they don't have as much risk as a, how do I say, I'm trying to watch this Grand Blue at the same time. We're in like a bingo tournament. And so I'm like, all right, let's go, Coach Steve. Because if he hits something, then we just win, which is like fucking hilarious. So basically we're doing well in this like Grand Blue bingo exhibition. It's actually like super crazy. But yeah, that was the coast to coast. So one of them was you had to hit the combo coast to coast. Anyways, totally off topic, right? Mediums. I wish I could like somehow segue better into Street Fighter, but I have no clue how to. So I'd say like mediums are more, they're like lower risk, right? They have less range, but if someone's looking to whiff punch, it's a lot harder to whiff punch a medium, right? But it also has less range, but it's better like preemptively, right? So lights and mediums are better preemptively. Heavies are better like reactively, right? When someone steps into that space, a heavy's a lot better to use because it's harder to back away because the heavy has more range and it does more damage, right? If you're trying to whiff punch, I mean, it all depends on the character, right? But for example, like Akuma, you want to whiff punch with something that has a lot of range, like 5 heavy punch. Or for example, like Akuma 6 heavy punch has a lot of range, so you want to throw it out. But you know, if you want to hedge against DI and jump and all these other things, you want to stick to mediums because they're a lot safer again. There's so many layers to this. It all depends on like the actual characters, but think of mediums as safer, less rewarding versions of heavies, and think of lights as even safer versions and less rewarding versions of mediums. And obviously lights have, you know, the dual purpose of offense and defense and that sort of thing. I hope I'm not up because then we have to end this. Okay, good. Woo! Woo! All right, that was clean. I'm recording this in the middle of a tournament. All right, anti-counter tips. 6 annoys me. Safe jabs don't work. Yeah, so this is really interesting, right? Because if you look at the game theory side of things, counters are very, very, very strong. Because a safe jab, which in Grand Blue, basically a safe jab is like a safe jump, but you jab instead of jumping. They're really strong because they beat DPs. But counters beat safe jabs. So what do? Right? There's no option that counters both like 6 EX counter and 6 mashing. So to me, it's like, are you actually taking a 50-50 on their wake up? And the answer is not really, because the risk reward is very high in your favor of just mediating them still, right? So if you media them and they mash, they literally just die, right? So you kind of have to play the risk reward game and understand that if they counter, it's not going to do that much, and mash is really risky, right? So it does feel you are gambling as opposed to safe jabs, but the gambling is so much in your favor that you might as well do it, right? It's kind of like the casino. Casinos gamble every time they set up a slot machine, but the slot machines are rigged in their favor that over time they're going to win. It's the same idea when you pressure someone with a counter. All right, being angry at ranked. Hope I'm asking the right people for this. Oh wait, I actually answered that. I think that's actually it. Oh, never mind. Wait, we have a lot of questions. Hold up. Just kidding. Damn, you guys are asking a lot. All right, I appreciate the content. Intuitive improvement. Fighting games to me have the least amount of intuitive improvement baked into the game, an enormous hurdle. I managed to get good. Maybe where am I going wrong with fighting fighters? You have to make it post. It's frustrating for me. I get it. So you have to ask yourself, what is intuitive improvement? And to be honest, I don't know. I have some theories. The first theory is if there's a large crossover between something that you're already doing and something that something you're new to and something you're already doing, then it's going to feel more intuitive, right? Like, let's say if I'm learning Spanish, right, and I just learned French, then Spanish is going to probably feel more intuitive because I can apply a lot of the learnings from my other games. I personally think like learning Street Fighter 6, for example, has been a lot more intuitive than learning Tekken because I play other 2D games and those 2D games are more similar, right? So to me, it's just you don't have anything to rely on, especially a lot of games are a lot different than fighting games. The way you have to improve is different. So like, yeah, I guess if I could give you any advice, the issue is it's kind of hard to say where are you going wrong, right? My guess is probably on the mindset and understand like, yeah, it's going to be a lot harder to learn fighters if you've never played anything like that, right? But at the same time, like my recommendation would be if you've gotten good at other games, like let's say, I don't fucking know, Valorant or League, the people that make the successful transitions, they bring over their mindset, right? They bring over that improvement mindset and they understand how to learn and they understand all these things that help them in the long run in those games, and then they bring it over here, right? As opposed to like, I'm really good at aiming, so I should be really good at combos. That's not really how it works. So that'd be my recommendation, is try to focus on mindset. Struggling to implement new things to my game after a certain point. Every time I learn a new character and reach a certain level of comfort, I can't seem to override any habits with more optimal choices. Okay, sure. For example, trying to hit firm, crouch medium kick, drive rush, and stand heavy punch. Really easy, but in the game, even if I make it only focus for the day, I can't prevent the auto combo in the heat of the moment and go stand medium punch. Oh shit, we won! Let's go! Let's go! We won the I won the tournament by fucking doing YouTube comment. We did it. Oh, I'm actually fucking good. What can I say? You know what? In middle of an Ask Diaphone, we'll I'll let my teammates pop off. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's finish this up so I can hear the pop off. That's fucking hilarious as shit. I won a tournament doing YouTube content. I tried narrowing my focus to one thing at a time, say out loud. So, okay, the issue is you're calling this the heat of the moment, right? That's the issue. Why are you playing? You're trying to implement new things in games that you consider heat of the moment, right? Like if you play against worse players, if you play against a computer, if you play against, I don't know, if you lower the stakes and you lower the, how I say, like the skill expectation, then it's gonna be a lot easier to implement these things, right? And you kind of have to like slowly graduate up to, like, let's say in training mode, you can do it 10 out of 10 times. Then, all right, try against the computer, see if you can do it 10 out of 10 times. Then try against the computer, higher difficulty. Then try against someone that's new to the game, right? And you'll find that each step gets a little bit harder and you have to slowly progress. But if you go straight from training mode to ranked, oftentimes it can be very hard to implement, especially if it's something that doesn't come around very often. So that's my recommendation. But it can be really hard. And the other thing I have to say about killing bad habits is that you need something, like, this is just habit science in general. If you have a bad habit, you need to replace it with something else, right? So for example, people that smoke, oftentimes they have like a nicotine gum or something so when they get the urge to smoke, they pop in a piece of gum instead of smoking, and that way you get the oral fixation and that sort of thing, right? It's kind of the same thing with fighting games and making sure you have something, you know, to replace it that actually does what you need to do. All right, two more. Oh, I actually edited this one. Oh, I actually kind of did. Yeah, I have a video on this, balancing your FGC time with your IRL responsibilities. I have a video. There's not really much that that video didn't cover that I can cover in here, because it's hard to balance fighting games and IRL responsibilities. There's no way around it. And I think that's kind of what this video talks about. I think as games get more competitive, it's even harder to escape the people that have more dedicated free time, right? Especially for Street Fighter 6. I went to Evo last year. I lost to 2 people. I got 25th, but I still lost to 2 people that play this game full time, right? It's definitely hard, but at the same time, you see people like Safe. You see people like I'm sure there's others that, you know, Safe made top 8 Evo Capcom Cup has a full-time job, right? So it's definitely doable. Okay, Chris Wong, full-time job, second Capcom Cup. So you just have to think it's definitely doable, and you have to, you know, prioritize your time like that. All right, anyways, like, share, subscribe. Yeah, ask Diaphone questions, appreciate all the questions. Take care, y'all, and peace.